All right, next, I want to switch over to what's called tenancy by the entireties. This is a very misunderstood, misapplied, and unused in a lot of situations where there's the ability to use it as an exemption. We've talked on the show, folks, about keeping your property together and your debts separate. And by that I mean the best form of financial planning you can do is don't have joint debts with your spouse if you can possibly not do it. And the reason why is when you give a creditor the opportunity to have two fish on the hook, they're going to utilize whatever is available to them under the law to go after you. Think of it this way. Just imagine you got a husband, you got a wife, and then you got the marital unit. And I'll use myself as an example. I've been married 12, 13 years now. When I buy, let's say I go out and I buy a car, I want that car titled in both mine and my wife's name. And the reason why is once that becomes a marital asset, and none of my individual creditors, let's say I don't pay on a Visa card and they sue me and they get a judgment for $2,500, they're going to try to apply that judgment and really what's called execute on the judgment to get paid their $2,500. When they come after that car, they say, oh, you got a car that you paid $10,000 for. I say, well, it's not mine. It's not my wife's. It's the marriage. It's a marital property. That's called tenancy by the entireties. The marital unit owns this car. Even though it's titled in mine and my wife's name, it's still a product of the marriage. And therefore, my individual creditors cannot execute on that asset. The same thing would go for assets we've acquired during the marriage. Let's say we bought a living room set. Let's say we bought a bedroom set. Let's say we have a joint bank account where it's mine and my wife's, and this creditor says, well, I'm going to levy on that bank account. Can't do it. It's a totally exempt asset. So now let's take it one step further. What if my wife and I own a house? Let's talk about the $5 million house. But let's bring it down a notch. Let's say it's a $100,000 house. We own a $100,000 house free and clear. I can exempt that house from my creditor's claims under tenancy by the entireties if it was bought during the marriage and marital funds were used to buy it. There's 5 rights that you've got to have when you're talking about tenancy by the entireties. But think of it this way. It's a joint ownership of assets, but in a marital setting. And that's really what you got to remember. So if you and your husband have been married, let's say 45 years, and everything he's got was bought during the marriage, and everything's marital assets, none of your individual creditors can come after that stuff. So I like that idea, and I try to use it as much as possible in our practice. Now, again, there are a lot of nuances with the law. There are a lot of things that have to go with it. So don't just think you become an expert at tenancy by the entireties overnight. Trust me, you're not. What's going to happen is, if it gets misapplied, you're going to lose the exemption, and you may lose the ability to bring it at another exemption at another time because you've misapplied it. So you got to be really careful about your exemptions. Folks, the best advice I can give you when it comes to a creditor coming after you, whether you're going to file Chapter 7, Chapter 13, or you're going to say, you know what, creditor, you can't touch my stuff. I want you to go see an attorney who specializes in debt collection issues. And by that I mean either a bankruptcy attorney or somebody who handles a lot, and I mean a lot, of debt collection cases on behalf of consumers. I don't want you to go see somebody who represents a bank or who represents a credit card company like Visa or MasterCard or Discover or American Express. I want you to go to the opposite side for somebody who can protect you, the consumer, from these things or from these bad people, and I call them bad people.